In late August of 1619, a ship arrived in the British colony of Point Comfort, Virginia. The cargo to be dropped off was 20 to 30 enslaved people from Africa. As these slaves departed the vessel, little did anyone know that their arrival led to what would be the beginning of the barbaric and unprecedented system of American slavery that would last for the next 250 years. This period is sometimes referred to as the beginning of this country's original sin. But it's more than that. It is the source of so much that still defines the United States. Welcome to That's Life, I Swear. This podcast is about life's happenings in this world. Happenings that conjure up such words as intriguing, frightening, life-changing, inspiring, and more. I'm Rick Barron, your host. That said, here's the rest of this story. When seeing the book's cover, The 1619 Project, I had no idea what to expect. It wasn't until I started scanning the contents section and reading portions of the preface, I knew I wanted to add it to my library. The 1619 Project is a collection of 18 essays by various authors and articles that dive into the historical and ongoing impact of slavery on American society. The book challenges the traditional understanding of American history by emphasizing the pivotal role of slavery and its ongoing legacy in shaping the United States. Now, the book's central premise is to reframe American history by placing the year 1619 at its core, as the year when the first enslaved Africans were brought to the English colonies that would later become the United States. Now, through a series of essays, the book explores how the legacy of slavery has profoundly shaped the nation's institutions, politics, and culture. It confronts readers with the uncomfortable but essential truths about the deep-seated racism and systematic inequalities that persist in America. I found that one of the book's most notable strengths is its ability to prompt readers to re-examine the conventional narratives of American history. By spotlighting lesser-known stories and perspectives, Hannah Jones and the contributing authors invite a critical exploration of how America's past is presented and understood. Readers are challenged to consider the often overlooked perspectives of Black Americans, whose contributions and struggles have been integral to the nation's development. So let's talk about the author. Nikole Hannah-Jones is an acclaimed American journalist, author, and investigative reporter known for her significant contributions to the fields of racial justice, civil rights, and social issues. She has picked up numerous awards and accolades for her work, such as the MacArthur Fellowship in 2017 for her exceptional journalism and her dedication to exploring racial and social issues. She's won the National Magazine Award in 2017, and recently in 2020, she got the Pulitzer Prize for commentary for her powerful essays in the New York Times that examined the impact of segregation on American society. Now, her background in education is quite impressive. Hannah was born on April 9, 1976, in Waterloo, Iowa. She graduated from the University of Notre Dame with a bachelor's degree in history and African American studies. She then pursued a master's degree in journalism from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Nikole's work has challenged prevailing narratives and brought racial and social justice issues to the forefront of public discourse. Her commitment to shedding light on systematic inequalities and advocating for a more inclusive and equitable society has earned her a place of prominence in the field of journalism and social activism. Her impressive career and the recognition she receives reflects her dedication to driving important conversations about the history and future of the United States. So what drew my interest in reading this book? To be fair, there's been both praise and criticism about this book, which really perhaps drew my curiosity. Critics have questioned the historical accuracy of some of the claims made in the project and raised concerns about the ideological stance of the authors. As with any historical work, readers need to engage critically and consider multiple viewpoints. In a nonpartisan context, the 1619 Project serves as an essential catalyst for dialogue on issues of racial injustice, inequality, and the ongoing legacy of slavery in the United States. It encourages readers to reflect on the nation's past while considering how that past continues to influence contemporary society. This book is a powerful reminder that history is not static, but a dynamic narrative that keeps evolving and being reinterpreted. Readers may find this book to be thought-provoking and challenging, encouraging them to reevaluate their understanding of American history and its implications for the present. Regardless of one's political views, the 1619 Project significantly contributes to the ongoing conversation about race and history in America, deserving of careful consideration and discussion. So what can we learn from this story? What's the takeaway? I found that the key takeaway from the 1619 Project is the importance of acknowledging the full spectrum of American history, with its triumphs and tragedies, to confront today's challenges and work toward a more just and equitable future. By understanding the lasting impact of slavery, readers are better equipped to engage in a more meaningful conversation about race, identity, and social justice. It inspires readers to recognize their roles in shaping the country's narrative and contributing to a more inclusive society. This book is poignant today, even after 400 years in 1619. Think about it. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is intensifying his efforts to de-emphasize racism in his state's public school curriculum by arguing that some Black people benefited from being enslaved and defending his state's new African American history standards that civil rights leaders and scholars say misrepresents centuries of U.S. reality. Really? I wish I had known that slavery was nothing more than an apprenticeship that led to bigger and better things, even though you got whipped along the way. Yeah, let the whitewashing of our history continue. I think not. Well, there you go. That's life, I swear. For further information regarding the material covered in this episode, I invite you to visit my website, which you can find on either Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, for show notes calling out key pieces of content mentioned and the episode transcript. As always, I thank you for listening and your interest. Be sure to subscribe here or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. See you soon.